So we have three amazing ladies here. I'm sure you all know them by their Instagram handles and their beautiful content, of course. Tina Kakad from Image Code, Harpreet Suri, Mom Wears Prada, and Pavitra Sagar, Style Muse. So, Vrinda, off.
Welcome, all of you. It's a pleasure having you over here, and I'm sure you had a productive day today. So, starting the talk, this is a question for all of you. I would like to set the context with this question to all of you. Jewelry is increasingly being used as a form of self expression. What kind of designs and trends are women gravitating towards to express their individuality?
Pavitra, you can start.
See, I'll tell you what. I feel the whole consumer market has changed drastically in the last 5 years. Would you agree? Now people are buying pieces for themselves. Earlier, when I was buying a piece of jewelry, I would think, okay, is this something my children would want? Is this something I could pass on to my daughter? But then my kids, like how they might not appreciate the art that I own, the jewelry that I own. Now, post-COVID, I've actually started putting my needs, my life, and my ambitions first. So even when it comes to indulgences, I see what I like, and if a piece really speaks out to me, I go for it, irrespective of whether it's going to fetch me, I don't know, a good price at a later time. I think that has changed, irrespective of the design. The only thing that I look for is the design, and it has to be from a trustworthy design house.
Harpreet?
Pavitra said it very beautifully. Yes, things have changed, times have changed. पहले हम वेट करते थे कि हमारी सास की ज्वेलरी हमें मिलेगी और अब हम कहते हैं कि अब हम खुद ही खरीद लेंगे. Mom, I think, this is better off sold or stored.
I think mom-in-laws also share.
And तो मेरे पास बहुत heirloom pieces हैं जो मैं बहुत treasure करती हूँ, but going forward, I'm not sure if my daughter would want to wear them. As much as I keep saying it, I really doubt. And yes, craftsmanship. अब मुझे लगता है सबसे ज़्यादा फंक्शनैलिटी का बहुत जोर है और मुझे एक जूल पीस को 3 तरह से पहनना है. It could be a necklace, it could also go in my ear, it could become my मांग टीका. Or how I was meeting a lot of jewelers today and I was seeing that they were also showcasing कि आप इसको ऐसे भी पहन सकते हो, इसको ऐसे भी लगा लो. And I think that's really picked up. And going forward, यही होने वाला है. We want to have more and spend lesser money, let's be honest. But buy so much more. पहले एक मंगलसूत्र लेते थे और अच्छा एक्सपेंसिव, अब है 3 लेने हैं, सेम पति से पर 3 लेने हैं. And
Basically, versatility is what we're all looking at.
absolutely.
Tina?
I truly believe in this. So, firstly, what Pavitra said and Harpreet said, I truly believe that jewelry is now a personal statement. Like for me, everyone can pick up fashion, but jewelry is something that really brings out your style. So I'm very pro jewelry. I'm also married a jeweler, and I've realized that jewelry must be versatile. Pieces that I can wear year on year, things that are timeless, whether I pass them on or I do whatever with it doesn't matter. My son is too young for me to think of that, but I genuinely feel that's something that takes me from my Indian clothes to my Western clothes that I can wear from the boardroom to a shoot, to a party, to a wedding, and that's what I'm looking for in my jewelry.
Pavitra, my next question to you would be, as someone who inspires women through your platform, what advice would you give, jewelers on how to better connect with women buyers? Is it about storytelling? Is it about styling? Is it about creating more relatable campaigns?
See, as a brand, I feel you should be able to identify your target audience, their lifestyle, their spending power, and their personal style. I feel the brand needs to convey and tell a story to the audience as to why they should buy their piece, whilst showing them how to style, showing the versatility of the product, and show them that it can be styled in so many different ways. I think so it's a mix of everything: storytelling, craftsmanship, and building trust more than anything. I said it, I'll say it again. I will only buy from a trustworthy design house where I can take the piece back at any time and they should be able to buy back my piece.
Sure. So there's a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about one brand? You know, it could be a global luxury brand, a jewelry brand, you know, that has done such a fabulous job of storytelling in the last 1 year or 2 years.
Okay, I'm going to take it like way back, not just 1 year or 2 years.
Right.
I feel Tiffany sells love, not diamonds. You know, that little blue box is synonymous with romance and commitment. I mean, I kid you not, the quality is not the best. When you actually, yeah. But then people are buying it because of the value that the brand holds. I mean, don't you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what diamonds they use? No. Do we care? No. But then in India, when we go to a store, we want to know, is this VVS1? Is this EF? Is this?
Yeah.
We will fight there. But will you ever go to a Tiffany and fight?
Yeah.
No. So that is the kind of power and value that the brand holds. So, yeah.
So moving on, Harpreet, my question is for you. Bollywood weddings have always set trends. On the one hand, you had Shobita, who went super traditional, and on the other, we saw Alia being this gorgeously minimalist bride. How do you see these celebrity styles shaping consumer preference for both bridal and occasion wear?
You know, our country is driven by Bollywood. Like, they're fully driven by them. And, you know, these young brides are making such statements. And we all are following it out. Now, बहुत अच्छा हो गया कि दो different types of wedding हो गई हमारी country में. Now, everybody can choose what they would want to do. Like, I'm a full-on traditional heavy jewelry wearing person. So I love Shobita's style. But I know so many of my friends who was so excited to look at Alia's look because she just changed the game, you know. And मैं उस look को शायद अपने किसी bridesmaid के function पे पहनती. But you know, she changed the game. So yes, India is totally driven by it and great. हमारे जो celebrities जिनको हम इतना follow करते हैं, they are doing exactly. So they're opening up the world for us, you know, कि ये भी possible है. So yeah.
Your follow-up question
So
for Tina.
my next question is for Tina. Heirloom jewelry often holds sentimental value, but may not always suit modern tastes. How do you think women are blending their heirloom pieces with contemporary designs? And how can jewelers help facilitate this?
So this is a very interesting question because I'm from a family of jewelers and I'm going to answer this for you.
That is because it is for you.
If your jewelry is versatile, if your jewelry can be broken and worn into 4 or 5 different ways, pieces like the way these girls said, whether it's a bracelet that I wear as a choker, I have so many of those. If you can do that to your jewelry, or if you own heirloom pieces that have such a strong story, but you can go and convert it into a brooch. That's what I've done to my Mangalsutra, by the way. So things you can do around jewelry with jewelers today, because we belong to India and there's just so much craftsmanship here, you can do so much more with jewelry that will really, really add to your wardrobe and personal style. So this is what I believe.
Harpreet, you know, you're constantly in touch with women across all age groups on your social media. Yeah. So what differences do you notice in how millennial and Gen Z women view jewelry compared to older generations?
So older में मैं हूँ, तो मैं अपनी बात करूँगी पहले.
No, I mean
Ancient
like
होने वाली.
50 plus.
So see, for us, till today, for me, it's about heirloom. I hold some pieces very, very close to my heart. And I'm seeing the younger generation today, they want functionality, versatility. ये वाले सारे words is Gen Z के लिए. You know, they don't want to, again I said, एक मंगलसूत्र की जगह 3 चाहिए अब, और you know, price conscious बहुत हो गए हैं. So they, and then because they're very busy, we want great service also. So what I see that अब के टाइम हम दोनों generations में बहुत ज़्यादा difference है, और मेरी generation आज भी, I think I know how long, but for me timelessness, heirloom pieces are everything. Like I अभी भी मैंने अपने लिए कुछ एक बड़ा सुंदर, I've chosen a piece for myself which has again full jadao and it has a huge leopard on it. And I was thinking, will my daughter ever wear it? And I was like, chuck it, man. I'm going to wear it and it's going to make me happy. But if I would have got my daughter here, she would have, you know, picked up those dainty pieces, those pretty little things. So yeah, I feel बिल्कुल ही different है यार. But Gen Z का ज़माना है, तो I think the jewelers have to work towards Gen Z only.
I have one question for, you know, all the three of you. Tina, I'll start with you. What's the one piece of advice you'd give, you know, the trade to cater to very busy women like you? And what kind of messaging or designs resonate most with you? your audience?
I feel like if you can kind of connect to their story, you can show them how you can wear jewelry wherever you are, however you are, and kind of emotionally get into their soul and show them how to do it. Like that's where influencers come into play. Also, we show them how to style it, but the brand needs to have a story that's strong. Then definitely people would love to own their pieces.
Harpreet.
I think storytelling का ना बिल्कुल concept ही change हो गया है. पहले they were all about pretty pictures. Today it's all about connecting with your audience. I want how I see these brands should be doing so much storytelling, but how I as a woman would want to hear my story. I would also get rid of the question once again. I was just so busy listening to you.
It's about, I want to ask you what resonates with your audience the most? The kind of, what would you tell the jewelers?
Okay. So when I did that video, it went viral. People have loved it so much. And I was thinking about it that I got such great feedback on it. I did a video for one of the jewelry brands here. Everybody told me one thing. We connected with your video. It was so us. It was my story. You spoke in such a simple language. It was not flowery. It was not intimidating. I think that's what jewelers need to do now. And everybody for that matter. See, everybody's on social media. Who's connecting better is because the story that they are telling. So they should be not intimidating and it should come across like this is my story and I also would want to buy this piece. It could be jewelry, electronics, anything.
Yeah, you never know who's watching your content.
You never
You can't
know.
really judge a book by its cover. So, Vrinda and Pavitra.
See, I'll tell you what, I mean, I prefer buying from brands who are not trying too hard to sell their product to the audience. It's as influencers, we can see the difference behind someone, behind a brand who's been there for ages. And for me, it's mostly the design and the brand name. And the brand awareness usually comes through a friend, through family or an acquaintance who's probably bought from the brand. So that again builds trust. And I'm going to a brand who my friend would have probably bought from. And, so I think it all boils down to the design, essentially, yeah.
I want to take a moment and say this to you, Brinda, on a platform like this. When I was building my story around the brand, I kept calling her back. I said, बहुत कम होता है जो आपको brand person इतनी leverage देता है. And I kept asking her, are you sure? I should say it so subtly. And she kept saying, say it in your words, Harpreet. I have chosen you because you will tell the story your way. It is very rare that a marketing person understands. They only want to sell, upsell. You made me, and I kept calling her for that. Are you very sure? She's like, we chose you because we wanted your way of storytelling. And that's very, very appreciable. Thank you.
We trust you and we trust all of you. So, my question for all of you again. So, for jewelers, understanding the buyer psychology is a key. What's one thing you think women look for emotionally when they're buying jewelry beyond just the aesthetics?
Pavitra.
I said it. I buy it purely because I like it. There is no emotional attachment. Like how I said earlier, if my husband gifted a piece, of course it holds value. If there's a piece that I've bought for my daughter, yes, I've kept it. But today, more than emotional attachment, I simply buy something because I want to. One, I said, I think it's a personal indulgence. And more than anything, I buy a piece because I genuinely want to own it. And one thing that I usually look for is when I'm buying a piece of jewelry, I like to know what I'm paying for. I don't want any hidden costs.
Transparency.
Transparency, absolutely. I'm okay if your making charge is going to be a fixed amount. I'm okay because I'm paying for the design, but I at least know what I'm paying for. So, yeah.
So, मैं तो आज ही shopping करी है. So I can say it offhand, like first-hand experience. For me, it is a rarity. For me, how exclusive that piece is. I don't want to have 40 pieces of the same. I would not buy it. I asked him that, how many do you have? He was not even letting me take a picture until I paid the token because it was that rare a piece. So I like to collect rare, and I see people around me. We are like, we want to keep rare pieces. I want a piece which stays with me, and I want to flaunt it that no one has it. Oh, I'll show you. मैं तब पैसे देने के बाद पिक्चर मिली है मुझे.
नहीं, हरप्रीत को बुलाया भी इसलिए था, शॉपिंग भी करेगी.
You know, I waited for full 1 year, guys, and you know, all jewelers should know this. I waited for one full year. I came last year, and I was mesmerized. I didn't know something like this ever existed because I come from Delhi, and we go to GK1, that whole jewelry lane, and there are top 10 people who we go keep buying from. And you know, we feel so sad कि बस अब यही choices हैं. But this is a heaven. So I waited for one full year, and here I am in this gold mine.
So back to your question, could you repeat it, please?
So, understanding the buyer psychology is the key. What's that one thing that women are looking emotionally when they're buying jewelry? Beyond the aesthetics.
What is it for you?
So I feel like jewelers for the longest time have been playing with our emotions. For example, like the girl who's about to get married, the biggest milestone of her life is where everybody kind of focuses on forever. But what happens after that? And this is where we three now come into play. I mean, I still have friends who are getting married, and the biggest focus of our life is that wedding jewelry. But do we really use our wedding jewelry after? And that's the question, I feel like jewelers. So I'm just taking your question away and I'm questioning it. But jewelers really need to answer that for the next 40 years of that woman's life, now how she's going to wear her wedding jewelry. So this is... No, I still wear a lot of mine. I still wear
it. And my daughter's not ever going to wear my wedding jewelry because I wore a beautiful big piece. I loved it, but I'm sure this generation is not interested. What will we do with it?
You never know. It's a long time to go.
Time changes?
Yeah.
It better does. मैंने वो इसलिए लिया था कि मेरी बेटी या मेरी बहू भी पहने.
For women, again, to all of you, you know, I think we've sort of broadly covered this, but I'd still like to ask you this question. You know, what is jewelry now? I mean, for you, is it, you know, what factors do you consider? Is it like design? Is it versatility? Or is it brand reputation? Do you ever look at, when you buy a piece, do you ever look at it as like, oh, this is a good investment, like how our mothers and grandmothers did? Is that how it works, Pavitra?
Yes, it's a mix actually. It's a mix for me. Brand reputation is very important. And when I was picking, for the first time when I was picking here today, you know, I didn't even go out to see what brand it is because I knew अरे JJS में है, तो ये बहुत ही अच्छा brand होगा कोई. And then again, rarity, the design is very important. If I'm wearing it, no one else should. And I like pieces and everything when I dresses, I like it and people stop and ask me. That's how I like my styling. और मैं ये दिल से बोल रही हूँ मतलब because I've come here earlier so I buy a lot of jewelry. मुझे शौक है, मेरी family को बहुत शौक है, तो ये जो create हुआ है ना ये बहुत ही beautiful है. मैं ये सच्ची दिल से बोल रही हूँ, not because of...
Vrinda, I think you need to speak with JJs regarding this. But we'll do the wrap-up question now.
So, I would love to hear one key takeaway from each one of you. What's the one trend, insight, or strategy you think jewelry retailers should focus on for 2025 to connect with the women buyers?
I think most importantly, you need to build trust and foster long-standing relationships with your target clientele. That's very important today. When I want to buy something, I first go back to my jeweler to see what he or she has before exploring the market. Or the trends, because I'm not one for trends. I indulge in classic, which I build, yes. But having said that, it's important that I trust somebody who I can go back at any given.
For me, it's the art of storytelling, which is very important. Am I connecting what I'm watching? Because everything is Instagram, let's be real about it. So for me, how they're telling me the story, they're not upselling it to me and they've subtly played. So brands should make sure of this now that influencers are the next big thing. So when they're choosing an influencer, that influencer should be connected, they should have the right TG, and the influencers are not upselling it. Never upsell your story. Very subtly place it. Audience like it like that. People put it in your face. And very, very important for me, when I go back, my jeweler looks after me very, very well. Not किसने खरीद लिया है तो अब हमें इसका क्या करना है. When I go back with an issue with the jewelry, they should treat me exactly the same way when I came for the first time. It's very
No,
important.
but I think somewhere followers also, they're very intelligent these days. I think one wrong content, it's just so easy to like lose followers as well. So I think that
there is a lot of influencer fatigue right now.
correct.
Everybody is promoting the same product.
Yeah.
We as consumers ourselves are able to relate to what we post because we are buyers ourselves. But then I'm saying for the consumers need to be aware they are. There's so much that's been thrown at them. They are smart buyers. So obviously the design and the design house speaks to them. So ultimately it all depends on them. They can get inspired, but obviously they choose wisely. That's my take on that.
Tina?
I was actually going to come to that point, is that the audience today is a little too smart. And like they can read through it's too transparent out there. So if now that we go back to your question about a jewelry person or a jewelry brand who's trying to connect with the audience via any sort of marketing, digital marketing, influencers, etc., or even with their clients, I really feel like clients today are looking for that one-of-a-kind experience, whether it's one-of-a-kind aesthetic, something that's rare, because that's jewelry, that's luxury, right? So it has to be rare. It should be difficult to find. It should be not on the rack. It should be something unique. So I constantly feel like that's what I'm chasing. And there's a whole lot of women clients out there who do not want to look like each other.
Right.
So, yeah.
At JJ's, we mostly have like a lot of like precious jewelry brands, but I think some of the demi-fine sort of high fashion jewelry brands are doing fantastic work as well, right? Like I've seen you personally wear some amazing pieces from some amazing brands. So anyway, I think we've covered some fascinating insights on trends. It was a short session, but I think it was very valuable. Thank you, Pavitra, Harpreet, and Tina for your insights. Maybe have we just want to give you like a small token of appreciation.
Invite Mr. Rajiv Jain to give the token of appreciation to them. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.